want you to learn a little bit about matrix operations. Most of these you'll be doing on your calculator, so I'll show you how to do matrix operations on your calculator. But you do need to understand how some of these operations operate so that it's not all just magic to you. So let me show you addition and subtraction. If we want to add two matrices, we want to make sure they are the same dimension. The one on the left is 2 by 3. The one on the right is 2 by 3. So the answer will be 2 by 3. We take the first number in the first row in each matrix, add them together, and that gives us the first number in the first row of the answer matrix. And then we just go right down the line, adding those corresponding positions, add together. So that's how we do addition of matrices. Subtraction would be the same way, only you'd just be subtracting the numbers. So again, as long as they're the same size, the answer matrix will be that size. We subtract. Now again, this could be a little tricky in your head, so that's why we can type these into our calculator and not worry about making mistakes. -1 minus 3, 0 minus 7, 2 minus -1, 3 minus 1, and -2 minus -3. So, how do we do multiplication? Well, now that's a different story. Let me just go through the details, and again, you won't have to do these manually, but you need to understand some of the ins and outs of the multiplication. We've got a 2 by 2 matrix and a 2 by 3 matrix. Now, as long as the inside numbers match, the matrices can be multiplied. So they don't have to be the same size when we're multiplying. The answer is going to be the two outside numbers. So the two matrices that we have will multiply together, and the answer matrix will be a 2 by 3. So here's how we come up with the numbers in the answer matrix. The first position is row 1, column 1. If we take row 1 from the first matrix and column 1 from the second matrix, multiply the corresponding numbers, first times first, second times second, then add, we get the number in that position. Now this sounds a little crazy because we're multiplying matrices, yet we're adding. So again, just be aware that that's part of the definition. This is the number in row 1, column 2. If we take row 1 from the first matrix, column 2 from the second matrix, and multiply corresponding numbers, and then add, we get the number in row 1, column 2. Row 1, column 3, row 1, column 4, row 2, column 2, and then row 2, column 3. Now again, you probably aren't going to be doing any of these by hand, but at least understand that matrix multiplication is a pretty complicated process, and it involves multiplying and adding. Now, let's see about doing some of these on our calculators. So I'm going to take out my calculator. I'm going to enter these matrices on my calculator. Now, if you follow what we did earlier in the previous section, you can probably use your matrix editor, but I'll go through and explain it again. Here's my second matrix key. I'm going to use the edit. I'm going to choose matrix A, enter. Matrix A is 2 by 2. So I'm going to do a 2, enter, 2, enter, and then type those four numbers. then second quit. I'm going to do the process all over again. This time I'm going to edit matrix B, which is also a 2 by 2, and type the 4 numbers. Second quit, and repeat the process again for the last matrix. So that's how we enter the matrices into our calculator. Now, if we want to do matrix A plus matrix B here on our calculator, we would go second matrix, choose A, plus second matrix, and choose B. So matrix A plus matrix B. We press enter, and there's our answer. Now I'm not going to type all of these on my calculator, but you do them all the same way. To do A plus C, we would type matrix A plus matrix C, press enter. You know why we get an error message? Because what did we say about addition? You have to have the same size matrices. So A plus C is undefined. There's no such thing. Okay. A minus B, matrix A minus matrix B is perfectly fine, and there's our answer. A times B. Again, if I don't remember, well, can you do it or not, I can just go type it in and see. Yeah, it's perfectly fine, and there's the answer. B times A, perfectly fine. There's the answer. A times C, perfectly fine. There's the answer. C times A, no. And again, you can look and see. That's a 2 by 3, 2 by 2. They don't match, so you can't multiply them.